Hey everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live broadcast brought to you by Frontline Gaming. We are your hosts, Kicker, the chief of cereal and sigilite of the FLG, and I'm Seth the Mad Doc, your competitive correspondent. Kicker, how have you been doing, buddy?
Dude, I have been painting and nonstop painting the kill team terrain. I got 2 boxes of that stuff, and I'm like, you know what? It's been sitting on my shelf. You know, I'm leaving for Cherokee in a few days, and I have this like 4 or 5 days. I don't want to start a whole new army. I want to start working on Eldar like everyone else. So I'm like, before I started doing that army, let's just knock this out of off the workbench. And it's coming along, man. Those models are so detailed. Those orc, what is it?
The terrain pieces.
Yeah, they're Octarius, whatever kill team terrain.
The Octarius terrain is really detailed.
Yeah,
you also painted some other orcs, I believe.
Oh yeah. Thank you for reminding me. These are the last of my orcs for a little while. These are some Storm Boys. They are finished. They're base. They're pretty. It was really hard because most of my orcs are all beast snagas, and I wanted these Storm Boys to kind of fit in with the beast snaga vibe, which was basically impossible. But I just try to go.
You
with
did
the color. I went with the same color palette, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of fit in appropriately. What about you, Seth? What are you doing, man?
As some of you may have heard, I have pivoted to trying to dust off my Tau, and I have had Tau for I've had them since 3rd edition. I had them since they came out. Like that broadside there in that picture, I bought new in 2012, built and base coated the green, and then didn't do anything on it for the last decade. And that's why I finished that. I finished off some breachers.
Seth, I'm going to stop you there. I'm not a mathematician here. But I believe 2012, that's like 10 years ago. That is ancient.
That is indeed a decade. Yes.
We
will be bringing someone on later who's very good with numbers. And I'm pretty certain he could confirm that is indeed a decade.
And guys, if you are listening to our podcast on your drive to work, you should be watching our podcast every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can see the photos of our hobby progress. Because Seth, like, honestly, this guy's got painting chops. I thought you were kind of a one-trick pony, Seth. You know, like orcs were your thing. That's all you could do. Dude, you can paint Tau. Like, you got skills, man.
Yeah, the line highlighting is really annoying. Like I would not be trying to take Tau to Cherokee if I didn't already have like 60 or 70% of the army painted from previous years of painting, because it's so tedious doing all that line highlighting. So like that broadside took me like a weekend to do. So yeah, but I've been I don't know if you've mentioned Pokemon fans. My wife and I dove in on Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's a really good game.
Is it a card game? Is it a digital game?
It's a Switch game. Okay. It's very good. Like if you've played, it's like Breath of the Wild and Pokemon Sword and Shield had a baby, and it's amazing. So just play it. It's a lot of fun. You can just throw Pokeballs at crap. You're just like, that tree over there, throw Pokemon at it. Like whatever you want, it's fine.
Dude, do you remember the Pokemon Safari game? I don't want to get in the weeds here, but like you took photos of Pokemon in the wild.
Yeah.
I love that game. All right, all right. Moving
on. Get us into the industry news, Kicker.
Yeah, guys. All right. So nothing too crazy happening in the past week, but the Eldritch Omens box is available at stores. Released this weekend. Surprisingly, it did not sell out. Now there's a few. Why?
I'm yawning at Eldar.
You're yawning at Eldar. Okay, Seth is yawning at Eldar. I know it's not orcs. I know it's not Tau. I know it's not chaos. It's Eldar, but
a lot of chaos. I don't like Eldar.
Oh my jeez. Well, they needed an update, and this box set's a pretty good box set. I don't know if the value is as exciting for many people to hop in there, but what's weird is the box didn't sell out while previously these boxes have been really hot. Commodities.
Sorry.
We got Tech Priest coming in. All right, come on, Tech Priest.
They didn't need another box set. What the chaos needed was a wound. That's what
they're not going to get that. That's what they get for being traitors.
Yeah,
They've lost a wound.
I'm done.
If you live for thousands of years in the warp, it takes some of your durability away. It does. That's the price you pay traitors.
So we've also gotten like
Dark Angels also 1 wound.
Well, we're talking about these new models for Eldar. The whole range needs a total revamp, as we know. And so we've got the Guardians, we've got the Dire Avengers, we got the Banshees that came out, I believe, last year, the Howling Banshees. But it's like weird that a lot of the Aspect Warriors haven't been released yet. I mean, we're talking about the Warp Spiders. They're still ancient. The Fire Dragons, the Swooping Hawks, they are old. Yeah. Seth is doing the pose right now. Those models are so old. They still have the generic rifle to chest pose.
Yeah.
They're ugly.
We can't cast these in 3 dimensions, so everything has to be in this one plane.
Yeah. And then if you look at the what is it, the Phoenix Lords for each one of these respective branches, I guess they're pretty ancient too. And even the Dire Avengers are a plastic kit, but they're still pretty old. And if you compare the Dire
Yeah.
Avenger height to the new Guardians, there's some discrepancies there. So it's like, what's going on here? And I'm going to put money on it right now that there's going to have to be a wave 2 at some point.
Yep.
Probably not for a while because it's too close to the Codex coming out that we haven't seen anything yet. So I'm thinking a wave 2 maybe next year when we'll get all this.
I wouldn't be surprised. Remember the last Space Marine Codex
Mhm.
where they dropped the book with rules for new things like the new land speeders and the heavy intercessors. Like
Yeah.
they were there was pictures of them all the
Yeah.
rules, but those kits hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be horribly surprised if something like that happens where they drop the Codex. It has photos of the new models in there, but the new models don't hit the streets for a bit yet.
Because you're right. That's a good point, Seth. And
The
so
Orc Codex didn't have everything when it dropped.
No, you're absolutely right. So, guys, when you get your new Eldar Codex, and we, should be coming out soon. Let's be honest. We know it's on the horizon. Go through those pages and see if you can find any sort of sneak peek of new models coming. What's really weird though, right, Seth, is that the rules they've been releasing for these aspect warriors are just awesome. I mean, they've been slowly trickling them. They did Howling Banshees today, so it's like the rules are awesome. They just need the new models. So give us the new models.
All I'm saying is we need to nerf Eldar before they even come out. I am here to lead the charge of the pre-release nerf.
All right. Pre-release. Give him a couple weeks.
I hate Eldar.
All right. Well, let's move away from Eldar for a second and let's talk about the Black Library. They're doing their big Black Library celebration. A lot of stuff is hitting it. I mean, I don't know about you, Seth, but I listen to Black Library books when I run, when I read, when I paint. When I'm changing my kid's diaper. There's always a Black Library book on the background, and they're only getting better. Honestly, the quality of the audiobooks has just gotten amazing. And they've got some like cool models and that Black Library stuff, the tokens that come with it. What's kind of cool though is a Krieg book that was just released in audio format. And that has me thinking that we know Guard need a codex. That has me thinking that they're going to be putting a little bit of love towards the Krieg. Obviously, we have that one.
Can you financially handle that?
No. But that's why there's banks, and you can always take in a mortgage on your home, a second or third mortgage on your home to buy more models.
Sean Bowen, I see you in chat. I see you making fun of my Tau.
So yeah, Seth is getting a little hate for his Tau in chat, but yeah, no, I really think that because we know the Guard Codex is in the future, GW is working to try and already preemptively hype up the Guard by releasing several codexes. I mean, several Black Library books focusing on the Guard. But this is the first. I think this is the first Black Library book ever that features the Krieg, which is pretty cool. They're a fan favorite of the Guard. Guys, also stocks are finally to get back in. Stocks are starting to get back. People can buy paint now. A lot more models are on shelves. It seems like the world, at least regarding supply chains, are slowly getting back to normal.
This was not like the Tau release was the first release I can remember that I did not like go, I want this model, and then like I can't find this model. Like I was like, I want the new Shadow Sun model. I want some more breachers. I wanted a couple more of the Hammerhead chassis, and it was like, you want them? Here, order them. They're fine. Here they go. Well, GW was like, here you go. We have them, and I was like, okay.
But not just the models though, Seth. Like, let's just talk about the spray cans, like the rattle cans. I've been looking for the primer forever, and all of a sudden, I looked up the Frontline Gaming website today. I'm like, oh, I can get one of these. I finally got all the spray cans I've been looking for literally a year now. So, yeah, I'm ready to rock. It's nice to see things slowly getting back to normal. Seth, I just want to let you plug any cool Eldar Aspect Warrior rule. They've been releasing a bunch over the past week. Is there anything that really stands out to you?
I have been blind to all Eldar rules.
Oh my gosh, man.
No, they all are getting a 5-up invuln, which is pretty spicy for that. That all the aspect warriors having that, because the Eldar always been like this fast but fragile army. And 5-up invuln isn't the most durable thing, but it's enough that if there's enough numbers of them and they can put some negatives to hit out there, it's gonna get annoying to go through that many, -1 to hit, 5-up invuln bodies. It'll definitely be annoying. So that was the biggest thing to me, was seeing that they are giving them, like, because I've always expected Eldar to be like, whatcha, crazy combo, you're dead. But them to be like, and also I'm not dead, is interesting to me.
Yeah. Hey guys, we're gonna jump into some basic, I guess, overall ITC company
Sorry,
news. Oh yeah, go
someone
for it.
in Disflux on Twitch was like, "Whoa, yeah, crisis suits and broadsides are still in stock on the web store."
Yeah,
Yes, like
dude.
that's where I'm surprised. This is the first release I can remember where it's like these are the hot models, and they're not like gone
Yeah.
in a minute.
And we know there's a lot of Tau players. Like, I mean, there's a lot of Tau players. It's
Yeah.
kind of cool that you can be a Tau player and you can go get the models right now to play in your new codex. So yeah, go do that. Which I don't know. It's gonna be interesting how that affects the meta, right? We got Cherokee in a week. I'm expecting to see quite a few Tau players because not only can they have they've got the new codex, but they actually have access to the models as well. So yeah,
Yes.
Cherokee's on
Yeah.
Cherokee's literally like
Cherokee
in a
will
week
be an
from now.
interesting time, but we will get more into that in the next
Yes,
no
yes,
next
yes, yes. Let's talk about
no
the
the
overall
next
ITC real
segment.
fast and a few of the
Yeah.
bigger picture things regarding the whole competitive world we love so much. Guys, as you know, GW has got a big role to play now with the ITC moving forward. They're slowly releasing announcements. If you are a TO and you should be part of the ITC TO group, or previously you were, you should go check it out. They're releasing some more information there for you to know so that you can see how things are rolling out, specifically how to go about getting your tokens and getting the support from GW as well as the prize support for your for both you as the TO and for your winners of your event. But before we get an official statement from GW that's going out to the public, not just the TOs, I want you guys to know that the new process, at least to get your tokens, is that you're going to be emailing ITC event tokens at frontlinegaming.org. That's where you'll be emailing. It's one you used to email your local rep or reach out to your local rep. Right
Mhm.
now, at least for now, all people that want to get tokens for their event, email that. We can put it in the chat if you want to put it in the chat, Seth, or in the notes. But ITC event tokens at frontlinegaming.org. And that's who you say, I've got an event. This is the date. This is the name of the event. I'm the TO. Can you get me a token? And we'll get you a token that way. The other big thing regarding, I guess, the competitive world is also how BCP is going to be operating with a lot of events and basically how people will register for these events.
Mhm.
Events ticketed outside of BCP, so those are events that you don't buy your entry through BCP, like Frontline
Right.
Gaming, for example. Those ticketed outside of BCP will use an access or discount code for players to self-register for BCP. We're doing this for Cherokee right now, actually. So if
Oh.
that's Seth, you should check your email. You probably got an email from Frontline Gaming with a little, we call it a token, but it's basically a discount code that allows you to register for the BCP event for the 40K champs. What it does, dude, is it allows you as the player to have great control and make sure that you have your right team name in place, that you're using the right
Yeah.
BCP email, and that you can also buy multiple tickets and then send those tokens to each one of the people that you bought the tickets for. So it just makes it a lot easier for you, the player, and makes it a lot less stressful for us, the organizer. Yeah, Seth, have you registered for Cherokee? Because you should register so you can get your list in.
I am looking in my email right now,
Okay, check your spam
and
folder.
all I got my folding table.
Get your folding table. Oh, dude, you got
Yeah.
a folding table? We got to talk about that. We'll talk about that in a
Yeah,
second. But
yeah.
yeah, you got a folding table.
Okay, we'll keep going.
But okay, go. And let's talk about the Cherokee Open. I guess we're talking about the Cherokee Open right now. There will be a meet and greet on Thursday night. So Thursday morning, if you're a volunteer, you want to come and help us set up all day in the hall. And then that night, we're probably around 7 p.m. Come to the hall. We're going to post an official date in an email that will go to all the players that are attending.
Mhm.
But we're going to just have a cool meet and greet. You get to hang out with Seth and our head judge and some of the other local head honchos in the area, and we'll have appetizers. The meet and greet is actually sponsored by a local store called the Iron Wyvern in
Oh, that's
Tennessee.
cool.
Yeah, so you'll free appetizers and you got to buy your own drink, but at least you get some free food and get to just hang out and talk shop before you get to kick each other's butt the next day on Friday. So that's something that we're really excited. A lot of people have been wanting to do something fun on Thursdays. Most people do get up there Thursday, so we're like, well, why don't we all just hang out, grab a drink and eat some appetizers?
Yeah.
So once again, a big thanks to Iron Wyvern. They're a huge supporter of this event. I think they'll be on site as well to promote some of their other events that they'll be doing later in the year, as well as sell a few items that they make.
Oh, cool.
Seth, did I tell you this? I just found out that I ran the numbers today, dude. Cherokee is the most successful year one event we've ever had. Like, whoa, Nelly, holy fish sticks. This is a big deal.
Even bigger than ACL?
So for a year one event, dude, I think for 40K it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
But you got to remember, ACO was in the peak of COVID. Like, that was a weird time for
No,
everyone.
but like that was still that was a big event.
That was a big event, dude. Cherokee is for 40K, and then we have 40K. It's definitely the biggest Legion and Age of Sigmar year one event we've ever done, and even X-Wing's got a decent turnout. So it's gonna be a fun event. It's not LVO. We don't have thousands and thousands of people.
But that was not LVO was not thousands
that's
of
10
people
years in the
year one
making.
either.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So Cherokee's looking to be a good time, guys. We can't wait to see you all next week. Speaking of new events,
Don't tell me it's next week. I got too much crap to paint.
Yeah, no, dude. You got to paint. You got to get ready, man. Got to get ready. We have the Lone Star Open, and we've kind of slowly started to announce what we're doing for 2022. It's going to be our military appreciation event. I don't want to go into the details on this episode, but if you're in the military, you want to go to the Lone Star Open. Even if you're not in the military, you were in the military, or your grandfather was in the military, or your cousin's roommate was in the military. It's going to be a really fun event that we're going to allow the different branches to duke it out, as well as there be the main champ event.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah, dude. And there's going to be like special perks for anyone that's serving or formerly served. I don't want to talk about that yet. We'll wait till next week or the week after Cherokee. But those tickets will be going on sale soon. And I want to announce the 40K head judge. It's Kyle. I can't Marlboro. I can't say his last name. Don't hate me, Kyle. He helped
We had
us.
Kyle on for an interview way back when, right?
We did. We had Kyle. He helped us with the Lone Star Open in 2021, and he came in to talk about the Texas meta and give us kind of a vibe. Yeah, he's awesome, and he's a Marine, so it's a military appreciation event. So all of our judges tend to be military, and he's gonna have a lot of. He's going to make sure the event is run smoothly, and he's already gearing up for it. Cool. Our head judge is Kyle, but our Frontline Gaming staff judge will be none other than Jason Horn of the Iron Halo. He's a fan favorite Frontline Gaming guy. Yeah. And then the head judge for Age of Sigmar is actually be Gavin Greger. He is a former Army, and Gavin actually just won Age of Sigmar's ITC, overall.
Yeah,
so
I was like, I know that name.
Yeah, he's a legit player, and he's going to go be your head judge. So yeah, man. And then BAO tickets are on sale right now. You can go get them. There is a blog post on Frontline Gaming with all the details. You buy your ticket through KubelKon's website because we're held by KubelKon, but then all the swag and all the fun things like dice you buy through our website.
Oh, cool.
If you're an Express Passer, and Seth, I know you're an Express Pass holder, check your email because you should see that for both the BAO and the LSO right now. So if you're listening to our podcast, stop whatever you're doing, go check your email. And if you want to get your ticket through your Express Pass, go do so. Okay. Gotcha. I'm out. Seth, take it away.
No, I got to do stuff now.
Sorry, do we have anything like from the chat or any questions, or do I need to,
I mean, there's some strong Tau hatred occurring. I'm not going to engage with it.
We do not need negativity in this.
But we do have a lot of updates on the network. So kind of right out of the gate, one of the big ones, and I knew this one was coming, but I didn't want to plug it till I had a chance to listen to it. Game Changers had on TJ Lanigan. Did you get a chance to listen to that kicker?
Dude, okay, like how do I say this correctly? It was a very interesting subject, and I think it was probably the single best episode yet. Like hands down, it got me totally engaged. I was focused, and it was so cool to hear the story from another perspective as opposed to what you see on Reddit or on social media.
Yeah. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. Keep an open mind. Full disclosure, guys, TJ's a friend of mine, but I met TJ after all of this went down. He's been nothing but a good friend and a good sportsman when we've played games. And I think Steve Joel does a really good job, not only asking the questions that you want to have asked, but also giving TJ the space to answer things honestly and getting other evidence to back up what TJ says. He interviews other judges, other
the TO that ran the event.
The TO that ran the event. He pulls clips from the other streams that TJ played in that event. So it was a very interesting show. I know TJ was a little nervous about how the response was when that show was going to come out, but I think he represented himself well there. So go give that a listen. For those of you that have listened to anything that I've done before all this, you'll know that when that scandal came out, I did actually kind of give TJ some kudos because that was the first time someone was caught cheating, and they were just like, yeah, I did it. I'm going to face my punishment. I'm going to do the time, and I'm going to try to redeem myself with this community. And that, unlike other people that have been like, I'm going to try to better myself, he is stuck with it and is consistently making an effort. So,
dude, he set such a good example by what whatever, some stuff went down, but like his return has been so solid. He was did you see him at LVO, man? Did you talk to him?
We hung out with him, had dinner with him there. But
well done.
Yeah, so good on him, but go give that a listen. Grim After Dark has Tanya Gates on, Tanya the Warmistress, if you haven't seen her show. That was a great interview. The Chief Librarian is back this week, breaking down how to run narrative events. Killzone's back this week, and they're talking about their LVO experience. Plus, they're trying to predict the future of the Kill Team meta. Chapter Tactics went off yesterday, and they're talking about Tyranids and where Tyranids are at, because I think Matt's a big Tyranid guy,
Dude,
right?
Matt is a huge Tyranids fan.
Yeah.
Huge fan, man.
So that's all been a ton of stuff going on there. Thursday shows going again next week, and yeah, the whole cycle starts again Monday, guys. So
Yep.
that's that. But let's get into our main segment tonight, and this is where we want to bring on our guest. We have with us tonight I would say a frequent blog contributor, maybe a newer blog contributor.
He's a Frontline Gaming, blog
writer.
contributor. Yeah, writer.
Nathan is kind of taking up the mantle now that Peter the Falcon has stepped back from the role in the community of being the stats guy, and Nathan is being the stats guy for us. Nathan,
boom, here he is.
Welcome to the show. There he is. Tell us about yourself. Specifically, we have two questions. Tell us about your 40K backstory, and Kicker's question is your favorite cereal.
Yeah, more importantly, before you start with anything, so we can totally judge you based purely off of your cereal choice, what is your single favorite breakfast cereal? Yes, we will be judging you very intensely based off of your response.
So I actually don't eat breakfast cereal.
All right, get him off. Pull him right now. No, like seriously, no.
I eat granola and yogurt with fresh fruit as my morning
I can
breakfast
respect
of
that.
choice.
I'm German. I can very respect granola and yogurt. Like that's a thing. All right, I like that. All right. Do you have a brand you like, or are you just
God, are we going into granola now?
I mean, it's okay. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
So I usually buy the Store Organics brand,
All right.
buy the
That's cool.
brand.
You're going with the organic granola and yogurt. You we can be friends.
Nathan. Just make something up.
Yeah, dude. Most people just say like Lucky Charms, and then we end it right there. You had to go with the granola and the yogurt. So all right.
Nathan really is all about data. He does not make things up.
I crunched the numbers and found that granola was the best option.
Boom! There we go.
Oh God, there's a hashtag. Hashtag kicks for kicker.
Oh my gosh, kicks for kicker.
Oh no!
All right, so take it away. I'm going to shut up for a second.
All right. Kicks the Cherokee.
So I started playing 40K right before the last Adepticon was canceled, which I think was in 2019, 2020. Okay. So I've been playing 40K for a pretty short period of time. I kind of started into content creation very quickly, and just the last couple of months by writing the meta-analysis article for Frontline Gaming. I do a weekly podcast called 40K Fight Club, and then now I'm guest spotting on Signals from the Frontline, which is a podcast I've actually watched pretty much every week since when Reese was on as well.
Yeah. Okay, are we better than him? Come on, you can say we are. You can say we are. It's okay. It's okay. We're better. That's okay. You don't have to answer.
Understand that as you speak, Richard has the kill button ready.
So I'm not going to answer that question because
good man.
Yeah, right decision there. But
writer.
but Nathan, seriously though, I want you to know, and I don't know if you're aware of this. Your articles that you write on Frontline Gaming are very data driven. They're just facts, but they're well curated, well organized facts, and they get more traffic than anything else. Like they're extremely well written articles. I'm very proud to see your articles on our website because they're just amazing. So if you are into the stats and you want to know what's happening each week, just if you really are into the competitive scene in 40K, you need to read Nathan's articles. They are just some of the best out there. So okay, I know I'm patting you on the back too much, but honestly, like I'm like, who is this guy? Because I don't know you, and I'm like, we have to have this guy in the show because his articles are just amazing. So what is your background? How are you able to do stuff like this? Like, what's your? I have to ask. Sorry,
so I'm a PhD student at a research university in Chicago. And I'm currently writing my thesis, so I'm actually in like the most stressful phase of my PhD at this exact moment, where I turn all of the work that I've done over the last 6 years into like a 200-page document and defend it. Yeah. But as a scientist, I always really loved listening to 40K Stat Center and listening to Falcon and also Val talk about what was coming and going in the meta, and also hearing their interviews. And a lot of what I do for the article is really at its core kind of an homage to 40K Stats Center. And I'm very fortunate because stats in the 40K community is extremely community driven as well. I'm going to say community a lot. And I work a lot with Curie and with Cliff, who are two amazing people who help me with the data gathering and analysis. And we also bounce ideas off of one another in order to kind of get the stats hammered into what you guys see in the article. But also all three of us and the rest of the people who do stats kind of really stand on the shoulders of two giants in the community, which is Val and the Falcon, who we are very fortunate to kind of have spearhead the initial approach of actually looking at 40K as a stats driven game instead of just an anecdotal driven game.
Yeah, because I remember when Peter started that, there was not a good system of data collection. It was purely like look at list written, scribbled on napkin that I got the TO to send me.
So I'm going to tell you an honest secret. The data process is still kind of obnoxious, but we do have a lot more data, and we're developing better tools to gather the data, or at least Curie is developing better tools to get the data out of BCP, because we draw our data from essentially 3 different services, which is BCP, Down Under Pairings, and then also Tabletop TO are kind of the 3 repositories for that data that we draw from.
All right. Well, so we brought you on because you're the data man, and we've got a new chapter approved. It's a new season. So how has that affected the meta? Like, how is that going to change what we knew from before?
So really what we've seen most recently is we only have the 2022 pack for really the last 2 weeks. And last week was really when we saw all of the events using the 2022 pack. And the previous week was really running kind of halvesies. So 2 events were running the 2022 pack and 2 weren't. And then also going into Cherokee, we're seeing the new Tau book kind of hit the scene, which hit the scene last weekend. So when we talk about the statistics, we're talking about a relatively small sample size going into Cherokee. And I'm actually really excited for Cherokee to happen because it's going to be the first super major event to happen where we'll get a lot of games out of it.
Cool.
But a lot of what we've been seeing is not too different to what we were seeing pre-LVO. We have a top 5 kind of really that consist of Custodes, Tyranids, Drukhari. And then the real surprise, I suppose, or maybe not a surprise to a lot of people who were very excited about the Tau Codex, is the Tau Codex has slotted itself into the top performing factions, especially over the last weekend where they took the number 1 and number 2 spot at the largest tournament of the weekend.
Now, as an FLGN podcast, I believe we are legally obligated, based on the style guide that John Quennell made, to ask, will the meta adapt, do you think?
So I will say that the meta might adapt. I think a lot of people will have to change how they approach list building, and a lot of what we've talked about recently is that people are going to have to start screening their stuff a little bit better. People are going to have to be more interested in using infiltration units, but also people are going to have to make sure that the tabletop terrain that they use is of a high quality and has enough things to both be dense terrain as well as be obscuring terrain as well. But people will have to change their play patterns a little bit and their list building a little bit to adapt to new books coming out. And Tau is definitely the one that's going to do that to a lot of people.
And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not just the new armies, obviously Tau and obviously Eldar in the future, but also just the new missions, the new secondaries in particular really do need you to adjust your list in certain ways. I find that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like you're really going to need a lot more of, I guess the term that we've all been using is action monkeys, or at least infantry that can perform actions. I mean, that seems way more critical now than it was a month ago.
Yeah, so you do need them in some situations, and for some list designs that have been very popular into LVO, like Crusher Stampede, that was a concern that I had to see whether or not Crusher Stampede lists would really adapt to it. I'm going to let you know, they did really well last weekend.
Oh, wow.
Tyranids continue since the Crusher Stampede release to be a S tier faction, in my opinion, and have an over 60% win rate and do very well into several of the other good armies in the meta at the moment.
Interesting.
And I mean, Custodes are another faction who, since their book, have kind of really hit their stride. So we've seen Custodes become the 2nd most popular faction in the game, and that's only after you kind of staple Marines together into one giant faction. Because Marines kind of exist at a 20 to 25% portion of the meta in a lot of tournaments. So what you're seeing is Custodes come out and they have a 14% participation rate. And Tau
14%? That's ridiculously high.
Yeah. And Tau actually aren't that far behind. So Tau were a sub 1% to around
Mhm.
1% meta participation faction, and then they've gone up to 10% in this
Wow.
last weekend in events. So you're going to see, going into Cherokee, a lot of Custodes, a lot of Tau, a lot of Tyranids, and you're still going to see a lot of Drukhari as well, because that's kind of a classic. And you still have to be
Why are they
prepared with
not
your Marine
gone?
game.
Seth
Why are
is so
Drukhari
over.
not gone yet?
You're so ready for the
So
meeting.
I'm going to make Seth real happy right now. So Drukhari have been a staple of a above 60% win rate for like the last 9 months since their release, and they've dropped below 60 and then are now below a 55% win rate.
Okay, all right.
Since last
that
weekend.
that is
Improvement.
music to my ears. For the viewers that don't know this, Nathan and I are like regular TTS partners, and he has played Drukhari into me a lot over the last 6 months. So
Mhm.
it brings me joy to hear this.
I know. I'm pretty sure that Seth is kind of tired of Drazar walking into everything in his army and then walking out the other side with the collected skulls of the rest of the army just trailing behind him.
Yes, I hate Drazar a lot.
So Nathan, you know what's interesting here is you were saying these big bad meanies right now, the big boogie boys. We've got the Crusher Stampede, we've got Custodes, we've got Tau, even Drukhari.
Mhm.
What's kind of crazy is that I can't see too many like similarities between them. Like you can't cater your army to take down vehicles because they're not all dependent on vehicles, or big monsters because Tau's all shooting while Custodes is gonna be up in your like. Is there some sort of overlapping thing you can try to do to make your army, I guess, prepared to take on these big boogeymen right now?
So there are a couple different ways to approach that question. So I am not a top tier competitive player. I'm really a
That's
stats
fair.
guy. So
I
I can
know.
use some of the numbers from this. So I've pocketed one GT win. I will say that's my competitive claim to fame.
That's more than me,
But
man.
one of the
And just
challenges
like
going
everyone
into
that's had a GT win, you started a podcast.
exact look, I didn't ask to start anything. I was asked by people. I got an email suddenly from Magikarp Fly, and then I was like, oh, so I guess that application I sent into Frontline to write for them a while ago has been approved, and now I'm writing this meta-analysis article.
Basically.
They were waiting
then-
for you to win the GT.
Yeah, and then less than a month later, I was messaged on Discord about starting a weekly podcast with two very high level competitive players as their numbers guy, and now I'm on Signal. So it's been a very strange ride.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you all in the community that if you really like put yourself out there in some ways and like apply to stuff and then like participate in a lot of discords, and apparently all of a sudden you become a member of a podcast and then you're suddenly on like the most popular show in Warhammer 40k essentially, aside from Grim After Dark, which is definitely a strange thing to happen to me.
Well, don't worry. Like all good interviews, Grim will try to steal you since we've had you on.
Yeah, those
I
sneaky
mean,
guys.
I would be happy to talk to Danny and to John as my.
That's okay. We can hear you fine though, man. So no
we can
worries.
still hear you, man. Yeah.
Oh. Interesting. Cool. Mhm. Yeah.
The chat is saying that they can't hear. Only breathing ASMR. I guess I was breathing, chat. I have asthma. That was probably me. Can you hear him now, chat? Nathan, go.
Where we at, chat?
Please, dear God, chat, say you can hear him.
Yeah.
I got a nope.
All right.
All
So
right.
Seth, let's
So
let's
Richard,
talk.
the tech priesty, is going to try to fix things in the background while Kicker and I vamp.
Well, no. We're gonna focus real fast on Cherokee, Seth, because obviously we've got this information that Nathan just gave us. What are you thinking, dude? I mean, what is your big boogeyman that you're afraid of
So
taking
yeah,
on?
so when he comes back on, what I wanted to ask him is, I've like I said, I've played a few games with Tau, and I've been playing obviously on TTS because I don't have
Mhm.
many practice partners where I live, and I've been doing a lot of Monka, which is the first 3 turns, early aggression style lists. And in the Custodes, I have had a lot of issues because sometimes with Custodes, they just roll 4-ups
Yeah.
and then they don't die. And your arm and Monka requires that you get within 18 inches, then 12 inches, then 9 inches to get the
And-
benefits.
And they're just gonna
And
tear you up at that close range.
yeah, and if I get that close and don't kill them, so I kind of wanted to.
Oh, is Nathan back?
Let's see if Nathan's back. Chat says this is what happens when you eat granola and yogurt for breakfast.
Yeah, you should have said Lucky Charms, assholes.
Oh,
if I can say
okay.
that.
Yeah, that's where we're at. Chat, let us know.
Yeah. So Seth, because I know Nate, Tech Priest is working in the background. Seth,
Yep.
so I mean, honestly, yeah, Custodes Vital, you're gonna go with Custodes, right? Like you just don't. I mean, they're just gonna. I mean, at least your Mon.
Well, that's
right?
what I want to. That's what I want to get out of Nathan when he comes back, because I think there's going to be someone that has figured out how to play Tau into Custodes. Yes, but now they can't hear anything. Uh-oh.
Testing 1, 2.
Can you guys hear us now? No, they said this is what happens when you mention going to Grim After Dark to Seth.
Ugh.
Oh, we just crashed the stream.
Do you need hopping out and hopping back in, Richard?
Okay, well, can you guys hear us now? We have you two, not video and video. You are fine. I got one fine. Can I get another fine?
Yeah. Can you hear me now? How do I sound?
I can hear the hosts.
Yeah. Nathan, talk.
Nathan, talk.
He's watching with the
Yeah, because there is a bit of a delay for us in chat. Yeah.
Oh, fudge. All right.
How are you at doing interpretive sign language?
Yeah, right. Oh, jeez.
Stats.
Seth, I think we're gonna have to take it from here then at this
Yeah.
point. So, okay.
Well, if we can get Nathan back on, I'll pick his brain about the the faction versus faction, Tau versus Custodes. I'm interested in that.
It'd be good if we actually had him on next Wednesday, right before Cherokee. We have another weekend to get some more data, right, for what's happening, and then you can talk with folks. I'll be setting up all day, but you can talk with people that night next Wednesday. But hey, like we're going to Cherokee. This is what what to expect with the most recent stuff. Oh, here's our tech priest. What's up, dude?
Have you ever seen the episode of Seinfeld where Costanza does the best joke ever, and he gets up and he just leaves? Because that's literally what Nathan did here. He was like, I'm giving these guys what they want to see, and then I'm out of here. He pulls the plug on his audio. So we definitely have to get him back.
That must be, yeah.
Oh, for God's sakes. Here,
we might have him back. Anyway, chat, if you have questions for Nathan, get them in. If we can get him back on tonight, we will get those questions to him. But Kicker, I mean, I think I want to try to play a more cagey game against Custodes because like we were just saying, getting that close is a recipe for getting punched. And Tau don't like to get punched. I'll be interested. Oh, I see a Nathan. Can we hear a Nathan chat?
There we go. Just give the delay for the chat to see if they can hear it. Chat, what do you think?
Oh, yep. Try talking.
Oh, I'll try talking again. I can talk a lot. I can talk about numbers, and
hear him very, very muffled and low.
You're muffled.
I mean, I can speak closer to the microphone as well, I suppose. That is a thing that I can do.
Hey, he speaks. He's back. Okay, they can hear you. Hello, world.
So we will just have to edit all this out for the audio podcast. But if you're watching live, Oh, this is great. If you're watching live, congratulations. You've just passed the first test to becoming a Frontline Gaming Signals from the Frontline
Super fan.
Super fan. Thank you so much for putting up with our nonsense. Make sure to pass by and get a sticker from us, because that's all we can give you is a nice sticker.
And a hearty handshake.
Yeah. Can we hug people yet? Is that socially acceptable? I don't know.
I don't know. I'll hug you.
You'll hug me. All right. I appreciate it. So we have Nathan here. Seth, why don't you ask the important question that we have to ask him while we have him here?
Mm-hmm.
Is that about cereal?
No, not about cereal.
No. So the question was, Nathan, you said you had some faction v faction data. How does the Tau Custodes matchup lean statistically?
It leans Custodes, actually.
Okay, so it's not just me. That's important for my confidence.
So Custodes have let me scroll through my big table. A 61% win rate,
guys. It's a collage of colors and numbers, and it would make your head hurt.
It's called a heat map, Seth.
Shut up! I know what a heat map is. I'm playing a character.
But it's a 61% win rate. So
that's a legit. That's pretty solid. I mean, right? Like that's really good.
And
they're asking to see the heat map.
You really want to go here, guys? To see the heat map? What kind of monsters are you? Right. It's not made for
D-Train 67, apparently.
Yeah, it is really not made for public consumption. So I work with Cliff, who's a big visualizations person on the stats, and he does all that stuff because I'm not good at it.
Yeah, well, maybe just share a screenshot in chat or on the next article, just so that people have a taste.
Apparently, D-Train is an economist, so he feels confident that he can read the data.
Excellent. So I will provide a screenshot of what we work with, so that you can take a look at the heat map in the next weekly meta-analysis article.
Yeah.
So another question coming in: does the Custodes versus Custodes match inflate the win rate significantly?
Ooh.
So we remove mirrors because I'm fancy,
all right.
And I insist on it. So if you want to know, there were 66 mirror matches for Custodes over the last couple of weeks.
So the win rate you're quoting then is without the mirror.
Yep. All of the win rates that I quote are without the mirror. We go through the data and we remove all mirror matches because mirror matches artificially suppress high-performing factions.
Yep. We have another Twitch chat. Scotty D49 is also a data analyst and is interested in seeing the heat map. So there is a lot of data interest all of a sudden.
You know, it makes sense, right? This is a complicated game. We get a lot of intelligent players that have, I guess, a background in economics, data curation. All right, whatever. You guys are super intelligent. Yeah, Nathan, you're going to have to share your heat map. And we'd love to see that. Nathan, so we've got Cherokee next week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know that Custodes got 14% in general in the meta right now. I mean, looking big and bad.
Sure.
Do we have any sleepers, right? Do we have anything that we think that's just going to, that
any
is performing really well, but is not taking that comment?
Popularity, but high percent.
Exactly. Less popular, but performing well. Do we have anything like that?
Sure. So my favorite pick is always Gene Stealer Cult for this. So that's a high ceiling, low floor army. And they have about a 55% win rate right now when you go through the data. And they've done relatively well.
Yeah.
They haven't won a lot of events. There haven't been a ton of events either since LVO. But I think Gene Stealer Cults have a good game into at least Custodes. And they don't have a terrible game into Tau.
Yeah.
A lot of it is about making sure that Tau can't just destroy all of your assets with firepower that ignores line of sight, essentially. But you can play with those factions, especially Gene Stealer Cult. You can play an objective hopping game where you take objectives and your opponent can never really score any primary points. But really I would pick Gene Stealer Cult to be a sneaky top 10, maybe top 5 faction if a really good pilot takes that list into Cherokee.
And I mean, you're playing with, a slight advantage there because the Codex is so unique in how it does operate that if you've never played Gene Stealer Cult before and your first time is at one of these events this weekend or next weekend, I hate to use the word gotcha, but you're going to probably get got because you just don't know how that Codex works. Seth, have you played the new Gene Stealers yet?
I have played against the new GSC. And they can come at you from strange angles. They can move quite fast. They can hit quite hard. The good news is that GSC, as usual, is like, we're going to hit you real hard, but we die to a stiff breeze. So it's all about just avoiding the big punch and taking them down once they're out in the open. But they've got a lot of ways to not be out in the open.
Yep.
We do have a shout out for you from Brian Moy, Nathan. He's shouting out his Chi-Town boy.
So I'm part of Grimdark Filthy Casuals, which is a gaming group in Chicago that Brian is one of the administrators of.
Yep. And then we have yet another Twitch chatter, this being Tamagotchi Express, saying that he too is a data analyst.
Really?
Yeah.
Kelsey? I mean,
Kelsey.
Tamagotchi, I don't know if it should be... Okay, awesome, dude. Very cool. Very cool.
You know, you all could email me. I have an email address in the articles. I put it there so that you all can harangue me about my terrible analytics.
Yeah. So, or you could say it here and they could listen.
You can email me at legio.titanicus@gmail.com.
Or you could just go to the article and find that, because there's no way I'm remembering that.
No, but...
So yeah, go to the article.
It is a real email address. Yes, that is mine.
Cool. Very cool. I like it. Nathan, do you want to give any last words of wisdom before we see if we got any questions in the chat?
So I have something really cool for Seth and his love for orcs.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when we look at just top performing pilots, orcs have a 76.5% win rate.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
When we break it down just to top performing people.
So you cut me out of there. Got it.
Yeah, it's part of that top. I don't know.
No, I'm not, guys. I'm not part of that.
There's also the really interesting piece of the data that you can look at that we're starting to gather a lot more information about, which is how much difference there is between the average win rate and top performing players. And so there's about a 25 to 26% difference between high performing orc players versus average orc players.
Cool.
Well, that does kind of dovetail nicely into one of our pre-submitted questions from Sam. Sam says, "What up, Nathan? What has the stats shown about Necrons and Orcs in the new chapter-approved meta? Has their ability to play the mission improve their win rate?"
So Necrons have actually looked okay in the data since 2022 has been fully in effect. They took a top 10 placement at a GT level event over the weekend. So that indicates that there might be legs there. The list played to Catan, which I think, or Satan. I don't know how you pronounce any of this stuff.
You say tomato, whatever. Yeah.
But that is definitely a list with durability to survive multiple rounds of shooting, provides a lot of mortal wound output, which is good into both the Tyranid matchup as well as into the Tau matchup. It's not as great into the Custodes matchup, primarily because basically 100% of Custodes lists that are top 4ing events are all Emperors Chosen and have a 4-up shrug against mortal wounds. Yeah. But I will say that Necrons aren't in the worst spot humanly possible, but they aren't in a great spot either.
So let's just embarrass some.
Well, Necrons aren't human, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Let's just embarrass a faction, or really make them stand out. Who is the worst army right now? Like, what do we got right now? Is it not? It's not Astra Militarum, is it? Please don't let it be that.
So if I pick factions with more than 10 players in the data.
Fair, yeah.
Right. So I'm going to eliminate some outliers, like there's only one Yanari player who played and they have a 0% win rate.
Poor man.
But Astra Militarum is the worst represented faction with a 32.1% win rate across the last 2 weeks.
Oof.
Demons have less than 10 players in the data set, and they're at like a 36%. That is not
I did
including...
actually see a question of how do demons survive in the pre-codex times.
Yeah. So demons play Bellicor and lots of big bodies and hope for the best.
I played a list like that last week, and I was actually surprised. Bellicor and a lot of bodies that were durable. It was a good game. I won it narrowly, but I mean, like, I can see that list having some real teeth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you can play the mission somewhat decently with the other the other pieces on the board, because people don't want to shoot like demonettes when you have 4 keepers and Bellicor breathing down your neck. Just not good target priority to shoot demonettes.
Nathan, I'd be really curious. I don't know if there's something, you can't probably do this right now, but in the future, it'd be interesting to see like maybe what particular unit, like how valuable is Bellicor? List taking him, or I'd like to narrow it down almost by unit, so I can try to figure out like what's successful. I know that's a lot more work on your end, especially as we have to deconstruct the list basically. But that'd be really kind of cool to see, like, is Bellicor actually that good of an asset to have in your army?
So here's what I'll tell you.
Yeah.
That if BCP changes how I gather list data from their website, then that might be a possibility. But also you would need just a lot more data. So you'd have to pull that out at like the end of a season. You could probably pull something up like that out. I mean, you'd have to ignore all the meta changes and season changes between the two things. But you could do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that with the way that we currently gather data. A lot of this is done by hand or like through some very small automation processes, so it's hard. Also, people, stop submitting your list as images. Stop.
Everyone, this is a public service announcement.
Stop doing that.
There you go.
All of you.
I mean,
we're just going to clip that and put that up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Stop entering your faction as a trolley incorrect thing.
Yeah,
I
please
don't
do
like that
guys.
either. It means I have to go in and check it by hand, and I don't like doing it.
Nathan is a sweet human being. You're making his life complicated. Please just make our life easier and submit your BCP list in the form of text. Seth, you got anything else you want to ask?
No, I think that's it. There's no more chat questions. We have I think we've tapped the well on this one. So
great.
Nathan, thank you so much for having coming on with us, and we really enjoyed having you. Chat, let us know if you want to see this bearded statistical wonder back. I certainly would. Check out his articles. Check out if you want to check out his other show, 40K Fight Club. Anything else you got for us, Nathan, before we head this one to bed?
No, actually, everybody just be good to each other.
Oh, that's sweet.
No,
Nathan, you do a lot of work for us. Really, really appreciate it, man. You know, we can't get this data without folks like you. So thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Kicker, do you have any final thoughts for the night?
No, I just, see you guys in a week or see a lot of you guys in a week.
Well, I mean, oh God, sorry, stop telling me that.
I know. Get your painting. Seth has got to go paint. I got to go eat cereal. Nathan's got to go crunch some more numbers. So
and some granola. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Signals from the Frontline. Have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Good night, guys.
Bye-bye.